Now I've got special guests, King Uprock and Mag One.
What's good? What's goody? You
From
already?
the Block Boys.
Salute, salute.
How's all going? Is it good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Okay. Okay. Rock, 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 rock. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, for instance, state your name.
Well, my real name is Ralph Casanova. I go by the name of King Uprock.
That's it.
Okay. Rock. Where did you grow up in? Where are you originally from? Because I heard stories he's from the Bronx, he's from Brooklyn. Others says he's from Queens. Where are
Well,
you from?
Manhattan,
I need to know where are
Long
you from.
Island.
huh? Well,
Where?
I was born in the Bronx on Tiffany and Fox, and 1969 I moved to Bushwick, Brooklyn, and I grew up in Bushwick. I was going to be 6 years old, and I grew up in Bushwick.
Oh, okay. So you grew up in Bushwick.
Yes,
Okay. Now,
Wow.
when you lived in the Bronx,
yes.
do you remember any hip hop taking place?
In 1969, nah, I was young. I mean, 6 year old, nobody hanging around.
Okay, okay, okay. Word, word, word. All right, all right. So now you moved to Brooklyn,
Yeah.
right? You're living in Brooklyn. You're growing up. You're going to school and everything. What was your first encounter with hip hop?
Well, if you put in it that way, remember there was no such thing called hip hop in the
No,
70s.
no. What I mean when I'm saying hip hop, I'm talking about the culture.
Well, there was in the 70s there was no culture really. I mean, people just did music, DJ.
The
Um,
elements, the elements. What got you into the
yeah,
like? Like for instance, I'll tell you what got me into the elements. I was
uh,
watching Soul Train and
yeah,
Welcome Back, Cotter. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So that's what I'm trying to get from you. What got you into being fashionist? Hip and all that. What got you into that?
Well, what happened was, as I was growing up, I was always into Bruce Lee, and one day I saw the Devil Rebels on the corner of Cornelia and Wilson, and they were dancing to some old school music, some soul music, and they were dancing. It looked like they were fighting, but they were doing it with music. And I said, man, because I was studying martial arts as a little kid, and I was like, man, what kind of new thing is this? Fighting with music? I never seen this. And
Wow.
the my boy next door, his name was Felipe, and his sister used to date one of the rebels. So I said, "Yo, you know what that is?" And then he said, "Oh, that's that rock dance. They burn each other. They do this and they do that." And then I started watching the rebels, and that's how I got into rocking. They were my
Okay.
Ah,
of what I saw the gangs do it. So when I saw the gangs do it, as I got getting older and older, I used to mimic them in my basement and try to practice whatever I saw. I went right. I live only like 3 houses away from where they used to practice in the corner. I lived on 225 Cornelia Street. I went down to the basement. I started trying to remember everything they did. And my brother and my sister and my father, we had records. They used to collect records. My sister used to collect records. Even some of my records from back in the day that belonged to my brother, I you know I used to put it on the on the record player and mimic what I saw what the rebels were doing.
Okay. Do you remember some of the music that was out in that era when you were doing these things, basically?
Listen to me. You had uh, get a whistle and blow. Um, a lot of so Sex Machine. Um, uh, there was
Like
some.
what music was the radio stations playing?
how long you been in the culture for?
Well, I would say 47 years that since I was 10 years old that I got really good until now that I'm
Yes.
47. And it's funny,
Wow.
Wow.
it's the same year that Bruce Lee died.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
So, you know, back then nobody taught you everything you saw, you had to learn by watching. There was nobody like teaching you. And I used to live on the block where BT Express and Crown Heights are there. They lived on my
Oh, wow.
guitar player. So at 5 years old, I used to play piano. I started at the age of 5. And my boy Cookie, who lived 3 houses away from me, who played with
Yes.
Crown there, he let me. I used to jam with them in their basement because they had instruments, and I had a drum set. You could hear me playing drums from my living room, which is right in front of my house. And Big Bob was a cousin of theirs who played at the Empire Skating Rink. He was a DJ, and I was like, yo, what are you doing with these records? And he was telling me how he was mixing and blending and one-on-one because he played at the skating rink. Now remember, Empire Skating Ring established in 1933. You can Google that. That was one of the first skating rings in New York City. It's called Empire Skating Ring. And later on, I guess he became the DJ and he started playing and all this, and that's how I learned a little bit from him. And then later on, I got down with a DJ Amp, who was a big DJ who had a big sound system, and he sold me a lot of equipment because when I started working for the summer youth program, I mean, my father had equipment like speakers and stuff like that, but my father didn't have turntables like a regular DJ turntable. I got a turntables and I got also an echo chamber that I bought from Amp. Then later on, I bought his crown. He had these 2 speakers, and I bought from him. And I started buying little by little. I had bought equipment, and I started buying records. I took my sisters and my older brother's records, and I just added to my collection, which I still have my sisters and brothers' records.
Wow.
And my brother's he passed away 12 years ago, but I still have his stuff that, memory of him, because he remember then 45. You used to buy a 45 record for 25 cents. And not
25 cents.
Yeah, it was 25 cents when you went. It had a smell when you bought a 45 smell with the fresh, and and a lot of my brother had albums. It was cost like $1, but the 45s were only like 25 cents back in the days in the 70s.
Right.
Now I got almost 80,000 records.
What?
80,000.
Yep, I have a great collection: salsa, merengue, house, hip hop, soul, funk, 50s.
80,000.
About 80,000. I have.
Are you planning to sell your records or what? You don't believe in the UTBs, man? Are you planning to sell your records or no?
Yeah,
would you sell them?
I'm selling. I just sold. Like I had like 8 turntables, 1200s and stuff. I sold them. I still got my B1s, my B2s, my D1s, my B2s, and my B101s. I still have those turntables. I told my.
You got speakers?
Yeah, I got speakers. I got a whole bunch of speakers. I'm still selling and amps and stuff like that. I still got a major sound system, but I sold a lot of it already. Speakers, and I got my Yorkvilles. They cost me $5,000. I'm selling it for $1,000 with a power amps.
Wow.
What's making you do this after all this time in the hip hop game, the culture?
The what?
You've been in the hip hop culture for so long. What's making you change and selling your equipment?
Well, most of the songs now everything's computerized now. So I have a DJ controller that I use, and I have everything on my Mac. I have all the music. I recorded it on a CD and I put it into my computer. So now I don't have to carry all these records. I can do a jam and play all the hits and still do a jam. But a couple of years ago, I would say like 8-9 years ago, when I went to France or I went to Spain, and I didn't have a controller because the controller wasn't out yet. I used to carry like 3 or 4 big bags of records. Man, it would break my back, and then when you go to the airport, they want to charge you for all those records, and the records are heavy. So I was like, you know what, man, there's got to be a better way, man, because I'm carrying like 4 or 5 big bag. I bought this bag that they made for records, to carry records, about 200 records. It's almost like carrying crates, you know, because I have a lot of
Yeah.
crates. And that's what I had to use because I was playing everything live, you know. Now I just bring my laptop. My laptop is full of music, you know. I have a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah, it's changing, isn't it? Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you saw, going back to what we asked before, so you saw these cats, these outlaws, uh, doing the outlaw moves and all that, outlaw dancing and all that, and you caught an interest to it. So you
Yeah.
started practicing and mimicking it.
Yeah.
And then, what would you say, when did you start actually doing it in the street and being recognized for the dance?
Well, I was about like 7 years old when I was watching it. Wasn't good at it. It took me a while. It took me, I don't know, maybe a year or something. I was doing it, and then you know it was because remember I was into martial arts. I did boxing, and I played baseball, little league, and stuff. And
Right.
it wasn't something where I was going to jams or remember we were too young, but we had block parties where we could, you know, they had little dance contests. I would go out and do my thing. So I remember my brother had told the guys from the Rebels, which I think was Victor, and says, "Hey, what you got my brother doing?" And Victor's like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Yeah, you know my little brother Ralphie. You got him up in the basement. He's practicing all these moves. What are you guys teaching him?" He goes, they say they ain't teaching him nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. So my brother called me upstairs. They were playing, they had a little radio. They were playing music, and my brother said, "Yo, get down." Like looking at my brother, like, "Why are you?" You know, like I was like afraid because I didn't want them to know that I was watching them. You know,
Right.
they told me, "Oh,
Right.
get down, shorty," and I got down, and they saw that I was really good, and they was like, "Yo, you're really good. Who taught you?" I said, "Nah, I watch you guys. I just watch you, and you know, I love the way you guys dance. You know, I'm a fast learner. I could pick up anything."
Wow.
And they told me, "Yo, you keep it up. You're gonna be the best uprocker." And I said, "Word." And I was like, that's when I started exploding. I would go to school, dance, you know, because I played. Everybody in the school knew I could play drums, you know, or piano.
Yeah.
So, but when they saw me dancing, they was like, "Oh, you can dance." So that was my new thing that I can, you know, go out there and show that I could do was dance, you know. Plus, my mother was a great dancer. She was a great salsa dancer. And one day I remember my mother saw me dancing. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, the guys, the gangs, they do this dance and this and this and that." So she's like, "Okay, you want to see good dancers?" That's when she showed me Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly, and I love Michael Jackson, you know, back in the days. And then she
Yeah, everybody did.
showed
Yeah, Michael Jackson.
me the Nicholas Brothers and all these old school dancers from the 30s. And she said, "You see those guys? You got to see the style. You see the movement. You got to do that. You got to dance. It's like us when we dance salsa. You do this and do that." So I started, you know, mixing a lot of the dance that I learned, what I saw with the guys, and I created some things new. And my mother showed me how to like shake my shoulders and all this. That's how I know how to shake my shoulder. I learned it from my mother, who was a salsa dancer. So
Okay.
you know, back in the days,
Okay.
we we had all the family that come, and my father was a fan. He played congas and timbales, and my uncle's he's a famous conguero, Papu Pepin. He's like the number
Uh-huh.
one player in the world, and he played with Willie Colon and all these people, Mark Anthony. So when my family got together, all the grandkids or nephews and you know uncles, we all used to play. You know, it was a Spanish thing for and I would play a little bit, you know, whatever. But I didn't even really like salsa music. I was into the funk and soul. I would listen to my
Okay.
big funk and soul guy. So I would take his records, put on a turntable we had, and I would mimic what I heard and play the songs that I heard from disco and funk and soul. I didn't
What
even
was the records? What was the first records that you used?
well. At first, I was learning how to play drums with jazz. So my father had a jazz record, you know, like Star, Take the A Train, and all that. So I had to learn that because jazz, as a drummer, when you play drums, you should learn how to play. You should learn jazz. Jazz is like made for good drummers. Play good jazz. If you're a piano player, you want to learn classical music. Because I had to learn classical music. I had to, you know, Fifth Beethoven, all that classical. Then
Yeah.
that, every other music is easy because that's the hardest. So if you could play classical, you could play anything. If you're a drummer, you play jazz, you could play anything. You could play rock songs,
Okay.
you know. So that's the way you got to go. Certain instruments, you have to go with the style of music, so you can learn. If you're a sax player, you want to learn jazz because jazz was a lot of saxophone players play jazz. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, this different instruments have a different section of kind of music that will help them build to become very good in what they do.
Now,
Okay.
hip hop's gone so big; it's worldwide. It's massive, and you're a old school legend and a person of high recognition. Where do you see hip hop heading? The future of it.
You know, hip and when it was hip hop in the 80s, um, it was a thing that it like a religion. You know what I'm saying? People did it for the love. People party. People wanted to do good things. They, you know, you wanted to go somewhere. You wanted to have a good time. You did, you know, little parties and do all this dance content, whatever. Today, it's a little different because it's all about money. You know, nobody does it for the love. When you take away the love, now it's, you know, commercial. It's kind of like, oh, you know, I don't doing it. If I don't see a
Mainstream.
contest for $5,000, I ain't joining. I remember we did contests for trophies. We used to win just a trophy just to prove that we were good. I won a lot of trophies. You know,
Can you name me some of the crews from Brooklyn, from Bushwick? Name me some of the crews from there.
like Uprock Cruise.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. We had Dynasty Rockers. We had Touch of Rock. We had Nasty Rockers. We had Mysterious Rockers. We had MTC Jitterbugs, which meant MTC means music to communicate. We had Dynamic Spinners. We had Non-Stop Rockers, All-Star Rockers, Sympathy Rockers, I&D Dancers, Supreme Rockers, Down to Rock, Fast Rock, Disco Rockers, Fantasy Rockers, Just Begun Rockers, Romantic Rockers, Holy Rock Smokers, Class, Universal Dancers. We had one-on-one rockers. We had class, basic rockers. We had explosive rockers. We had floor master dancers. We had out to burn. We had out to rock. We had born to rock. We had born to burn. We had the TNT rockers. We had incredible rockers. We had galaxy rockers. We had unique.
Wow.
We had majestic rockers. We had mastermind rockers. We had rock with class, paradise rockers, Brooklyn Express. We had dance society. We had the Greenpoint rockers, East New York rockers. We had rockers revenge. We had the dancing machine, lone rockers. We had nasty with rock, right? And we had the midnight smokers. And then we had rock the rhythm. We had the Puerto Rican rockers, the Brooklyn rockers, the midnight breakers. We had the brothers to brothers. We had rock the scorpion, the Grand City crew, destruction of rock, and United Steppers. Those are some of the just some of the rock crews. There's more that I haven't put on the list.
Wow.
Wow. That.
Well, 60 crews.
What type of numbers are we talking about? How many people?
Wow, there was thousands of rockers, man. They, you know, every crew must have had over 20 members. And
Wow.
you're talking about in the 70s. You're talking about Brooklyn. I'm not talking about the Bronx. I'm not even putting Queens. I'm talking about Brooklyn itself. You got over 100 crews.
What about the DJs? DJs, Brooklyn and Queens. Any DJs? Can you remember?
The DJs we had, which was an old school, one of the original Grandmaster. Okay, you got Grandmaster Theodore, and they're not the original. Grandmaster Flowers was the original.
Okay.
Then you have Mabo, you have Plumber, you had the Disco Twins, you had Fantasia, you had Unique Sounds, you had Sounds of Dynasty, you had MDS, Majestic Disco Sound, you had Disco MTC, you had MTC, Majestic Music to Communicate. They were a DJ crew. Matter of fact, they were one of the crews out there with DJ Amp, the Disco Stompers. You know what I'm saying? There were a lot of crews in Brooklyn and Queens, man. These DJs were before the Bronx. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not really the Bronx.
What year are you talking more or less? What year? What year?
But Grandmaster Flowers opened up for James Brown in Yankee Stadium in 1969 as a DJ.
Wow.
He was DJing the Bronx, Queens, everywhere. He was the father of all DJs. You know, all these guys, they all tell you the same thing. Flowers. If you watch the hip hop, the founding fathers of hip hop on YouTube, it'll show you all the old school DJs giving Flowers his respect because he was the man.
Did he have the system too to go with it?
He had the biggest sound system, and he used to bring records overseas like Mama Kusa and all. He was the first one to bring all those records and play, and everybody was like, yo, where's that record come from? And he would bring it to New York if it came from any other place. He was the first one to play all these songs.
Wow.
Pioneer. Wow.
Grandmaster Flowers. What was the first crew you got down with?
Do you still keep in touch?
And how did it happen?
Do you still keep in touch?
Well, what happened?
Hang on a sec. Hang on. Do you still keep in touch with them? The people that you met in the hip hop industry, do you still keep in touch with them? Ralphie?
Yeah.
Do you still keep in touch with your friends that you've been in the game with?
Some of the guys, I know the Rebels still, and I still contact with a lot of the old school DJs. I know them all, you know. Some of them, Flowers, he passed away a long time ago, you know.
Rest
and DJ
in
DJ Amp, he died I think it was in the 80s or something, you know. But there's a lot of DJs I still get, MTC and all these guys, Crazy Rob and all. I know all of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
so going back to this question here, what was the first crew you got down with?
Well,
and how did you get in?
Well, I knew Carlos Dynasty, you know. I knew him from when he used to go around he would take parts and make a new bike. And I was doing the same thing. And I know him, you know, and stuff like that in 73. And you know, he was telling me that, yo, I want to make a rock crew and all this, but he was kind of like scared because, you know, we were young. We couldn't wear colors because, you know, there were gangs. And I remember that he had one of the guys, you know, that were big DJ come out with Sounds of Dynasty first, you know, Frankie D.
Right.
Frankie D, you know, he said, "Oh, I like that word Dynasty. I'm going to come out with Sounds of Dynasty." That's how me and Carlos, I got Carlos into DJing. And then we got into the rocking game because I knew how to dance. And he saw some people, but his style wasn't that. He had like a crazy fast style, you know. And, you know, we got together and Danny Boy, he got Danny Boy in there. He's got a lot of the other guys. And when we got to 162 in 1976 is when we started flashing our colors, because we couldn't do it when we were younger because we would have had problem with the Rebels and everybody else. But I told Carlos, I said, yo, I was down with the Baby Rebels. I said, don't worry about it. I would talk to them. He was like, nah. He was scared. He was like, no, we're not wearing colors. We're going to go out there, just be a crew with no colors. I was like, oh, all right.
What were your first colors? What were they like? Did you have the old English letters or the doubles?
Letters on the shirt, you know, and you just put your name in the front. Back then I was RC, you know.
What color was your colors? What color? What color were the sweatshirts?
Navy blue shirt with white letters.
Oh, okay, like the Fun City. I remember seeing the Fun City like that in the Bronx. I mean,
everybody colors, shirts, you know, that they use. But our colors was blue shirt, navy blue shirts with white letters.
Okay. So the first crew you got down with was Dynasty?
Yes.
Was that the second era of Dynasty or the beginning of Dynasty?
The beginning.
The beginning. And who was the leader? And how did you get in?
Well, I mean, everybody,
Orchard Beat.
colors, shirts, you know, that they use. Carlos Dynasty was the leader.
Carlos Dynasty. Did you have to battle anyone to get in, or it was just like they knew you were good and they let you in?
Most of the guys like me, Danny Boy, Tony, and all of us, we we all went to the same junior high school, so we all knew each other. So we didn't. But for other members who we didn't know, had to audition. We would have to go to Danny Boy's house on Myrtle, Madison, pizzeria, and we would have auditions there, and they will see you dance, see you uprock, and boom, 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 or get somebody to put you to battle, and then they decide if they want you in the crew or not.
Where did these battles take place?
Battles took place at St. Barbara's Church with Crazy Rob. He was one of the biggest DJ promoters in Bushwick, with some of the guys from MTC, and we had St. Barbara's and St. Martin's was another church, and then we had battles in the street. We block parties. We would battle for shirts. We'll battle another crew, and they'll battle us for shirts, or we'll battle for the name, or we just battle to see who's number one. So that's how Dynasty became number one, when we had a battle Touch a Rock.
Wow.
Now,
Okay.
now talking about that, I want to show you something quick that I have here. I put a flyer. What I did was I put the flyer on a t-shirt flyer.
Nice.
You see, I put it like this. In 1981, right?
Original. That's original art. Yeah.
Yeah, in 1981, we had 2 rock contests. It was a freestyle contest with your routines, with your partner, and a straight burning contest. And then we battled Touch a Rock to see who was number one. So that's why Dynasty is number one. And you see,
Okay.
Dynasty won rockers.
How did you were you involved in any other crews at all, or?
No, what happened was there was a time, I would have to say maybe 80, 81 or something like that. I felt like there was guys who, remember, I was a drummer, so I was known. I was in the music business, so I was always moving. I was doing certain things and doing shows and playing here and playing there. My father was famous. You know what I'm saying? He knew all the Latin people in the world. So there was a lot of times I was, people knew me, and the people who knew me knew I was a good guy, bro. I'm shocked because I went to a funeral the other day for my music teacher from 162, Mr. Brasco, and there was these 2 guys there who are older now, but they were telling me back then in the 80s that I taught them how to box and uprock. And I was like, I don't even remember teaching these 2 guys. They must have been like maybe now 52 years old or something. And they told me that when they remember me when I went to Hart Street, I taught them how to box and I taught them how to uprock. Like,
wow.
I taught so many people. I was always like that. I like to teach and help people, and I help people get into Dynasty, But what I did was I left Dynasty for a moment because, I felt like there was a jealousy issue going on. So I was like, you know what? I really didn't want to get into a fist fight because I didn't want to hurt nobody. I wasn't a troublemaker. I knew I could fight. I was a boxer. I've always been boxing, doing martial arts. I didn't have a problem. People know me. They'll tell you, "Oh, Ralph could fight. He can handle it." You know what I'm saying? But I didn't use fighting as a I tried to use that in a negative way. I use it in a positive way. So
right.
So what happened was, I remember me, my boy Andy, and my partner Lucan. We was walking down Knickerbocker, and we bump into Noel from Touch a Rock. His name was Jesus back then, and he's like, "Yo, what you guys doing?" I said, "We were like, nah, we just chilling. We're trying to see if there's a jam because it was a weekend." He goes, "Yo, we have practice," and he was part of Touch a Rock, and I was like, "Nah, I don't know." And he's like, "Yo, won't you come down, bro? They would love to see you." So we decided to go with him. We went to the basement. At the time, Buzz from Touch a Rock was not in Touch a Rock. He had left. He went to Puerto Rico. For some issue. I don't know. He had prong beef or something, but they sent him to Puerto Rico. And Duz was the new guy in charge. So Duz was battling. They were going to battle Touch a Rock versus MTC. Well, I already battled against MTC. I beat them. So he was like, "Yo, won't you guys join us? We want to, you're not in Dynasty no more. Won't you join with us?" And I said, don't know, I don't want to join the crew, blah blah blah. And then they was like, come on, join. Duz is my man. He's a real good friend of mine. Whether he was in the
Moreno, right? Moreno, right?
Even though he was
Yeah.
Touch of Rock and we were Dynasty, that was the rival, like Rocksteady versus Dynamic.
Yeah.
Rival crew, Touch of Rock and Dynasty. So I got down with Touch of Rock for a while, like I think I'll say 8-9 months, and then I heard Buzz was coming back, and I didn't like Buzz. Didn't like Buzz. I was like, I don't trust Buzz. I don't like Buzz, and so we left. We left Touch of Rock.
Who's Buzz? The chubby guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I know you. The freestyle dancer.
Yeah. So we left.
Buzz.
I went back into Dynasty. My partner just was my partner. He didn't want to join no crew, and Andy went become a 5%er. You know what I'm saying? His name was Supreme. So I mean, Andy used to DJ also because he used to come to my house. I let him DJ. So he became a good DJ. But I taught a lot of guys how to DJ. I taught a lot of guys how to box. I taught a lot of guys how to uprock, break. I was the first breaker in Bushwick. Nobody brought. When I saw.
Yeah, I saw a video on YouTube of you break. I said he was a b-boy.
Yeah,
you were breakdancing, right? You're breaking it down.
I really don't say b-boy if you notice, because when I got into
no, I said you were breaking. You were breaking it down. You were breakdancing.
Yeah, but
that's the name, bro. Breakdancing was mainstream, and many people that had the limelight and were role models said the word breakdancer. So that word breakdancing went around the world, bro. You can't take that away, bro. The people follow what they see on TV and on the air and in the streets, bro.
Yeah, but when I got to it in 1999, it was called breaking. Never called.
Yeah, we called it breaking in Connecticut too, because I remember that record that came out in 1979, I believe it was, or 80. It was by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. There was a party night, everybody was breaking, the house was shaking, and it won't be long. That's where that name breaking came to us. Nobody ever used the term breaking. Well, that's where we got it from.
But the gangs called it breaking too, because they wait for the break of the record before they diss each other. You know what I'm saying? So that was a big thing also. Some gangs didn't call it rock. They call it the break dance.
Oh, okay.
Rock dance. So when you saw a flyer, like I showed you, it said rock contest. The flyers don't lie. I mean, that's what it was called. That's what it's called. It wasn't really called Uprock either. But some people, what happened with the word Uprock came in Bushwick.
We didn't have that. Now going back to Connecticut, because you're talking about this now, we didn't have no such thing as Uprock, bro. What we had out there was outlawing. And the gangs did it. The gangs, the Savage Nomads did that dance. They were the only ones that I've ever seen doing it. Was the Savage Nomads in Hartford, Connecticut, that were from New York, that brought it down to the ones in Hartford. That's all they did was outlaw.
Yeah, but we're talking about crews now. Crews dominated the outlaw. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I mentioned almost 60.
Wow, crews dominated the scene in New York?
In uprocking, in rock dance, yeah. Because you didn't see no outlaws in a rock contest. You saw rockers.
Wow.
And we took it to another level. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
They didn't dance the whole record. They didn't have the jerks like the jerks you see today. You know what I'm saying? It was a different movement. I mean, the outlaws did rock. They did their burns, and it was heavy gestures, and they were very rugged. You know what I'm saying? Guy get in your face and the stuff like that. That was their style. But when it came to crews, it was different. They had a pack line where you couldn't cross the line. You couldn't touch each other because then you get into a fist fight. So what I'm trying to explain to you when the word uprock came is because remember when Bushwick, if you walk 7-8 blocks up, it becomes Ridgewood, Queens, and they had a lot of kids there who were into rock music, but like rock band, like heavy metal. So every time they will see rock contests or rock, they think that there were going to be rock bands. So they will come,
right? And
Crazy Rob would be like, "Yo, what are you guys looking for? Oh, we're here for the rock music." What do you mean rock music? We don't play heavy music here. This is funk, soul, disco. Oh, we thought it was this and this and that. I mean, you could tell they were rockers. You know what I'm saying? Like heavy metal guys. And he goes, "No, this is an uprock contest. We have an uprock music, uprock contest." And they was like, "Oh, they didn't even know what uprock was." So they were, Crazy.
So the term uprock comes from Brooklyn, then, right?
Yeah, it comes from Brooklyn. Now, people in the Bronx and people in the, people ain't gonna admit it, but I'm telling you, I used to go back to the Bronx. I would dance, and people would go, "Oh, that's that Brooklyn dance."
That's what they called it in Miami. That's what they called it in the early '80s in Florida. My brothers was out there. They call, yo, you know how to Brooklyn? You know how to Brooklyn? That's what they would say.
It was Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I know a lot of people called it Brooklyn. I went to Manhattan to a lot of clubs. Oh, he's doing that Brooklyn stuff. I went to Queens. Oh, he's doing that Brooklyn stuff. But I used to be like, Brooklyn? No, this rock, the rock dance, Uprock. And they're like, Brooklyn. I'm like, yeah, it's Brooklyn, Bushwick. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it was called.
Okay, you coming from Bushwick, and you were telling us about the Bushwick crews and so forth, right? Did you ever battle any other crews from any other areas in Brooklyn? Like,
we battled some guys from East New York. A lot of times, I went to a contest in East New York.
Can you name the crews? Can you name the crews more or less? Other crews in other parts of the boroughs of Brooklyn, other cities?
I think there was Scorpios or something, and the Sex Boys. They had different crews in East New York. Remember, because Bushwick.
Sex Boys was a gang.
Well, no, but they were the dancers too.
They were also dancers, yeah.
Dancers, yeah.
You go down Highland Park, and when you hit the other side from Cypress to Jamaica Avenue, it's like you got to go down the hill, call it Snake Hill.
Yeah, I used to live over there. I used to live by there. I know you're talking.
New York Rockers and all these other guys, and we went to there was a skating ring over there on Atlantic Avenue, and we went there. We won, and they kind of tried to chase us. We came out. They were looking to kill us, bro. They wanted to take out dollars.
Damn.
They didn't like nobody from Bushwick coming there. I know there were other members in Bushwick went to East New York one time, and they won the contest. And after the contest, they waited for them outside. They beat them with a pistol. They beat them all. They all came bruised up like Rocky.
Wow.
They almost killed these guys. One guy was Manny from Dynasty, and he was with Lips and the other guys from school where that was his class. And I couldn't believe what happened to him, bro. It's a miracle he was alive, bro, because he won a contest. They didn't like. Listen, if we went to Bay Ridge or we went to like Bay Ridge or Park Slope, and you won a contest, you better hope you run home, boy, because they're coming to get you.
Wow.
In the breaking game, who's
what about the Berg? What about Williamsburg?
Hang on, brother. Yeah. In the breaking game, who do you respect the most? Who do you think's like should be honored?
Well, to me, I think that to me was Rubber Band Man, the original, and Apache. Apache was my idol, one of my idols that I look up to. He was a great burner, man, great burner.
Yeah.
And we had a Crazy Legs who was part of the Devil Rebel, the original Crazy Legs. Then there was a Crazy Legs that we had from Bushwick who was a DJ who passed away. He used to be called Rock City Crew, all right? Mm-hmm. And he was a DJ, and just his brother just passed away, which his father goes to my church, But we had big time, crews battling for equipment, battle for shirts, stuff like that. And like I said, you couldn't go to another borough or whatever. Like I went to Queens sometimes, I battled and I won a contest. They didn't really do anything. But there was times they would chase you, man. They knew you was from another. What? You from Bushwick? He ain't coming out of here winning the contest against us. You remember back in the day, you win a contest, all the girls looking at you like, "Oh, he's the man,"
He's the star. He's the star of the show.
Like he was a ghetto celebrity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You were a good dancer, girls sweat you. You know what I'm saying? But people wasn't having that. You go to some clubhouse or you went to somebody's jam or block party, and you burn a bunch of guys. You had to be. If you didn't know how to fight, you were getting beat up.
Okay.
Yeah. I used to carry a pistol, or I carried knives. I wasn't letting nobody beat me up. I remember we had to run. I was with a bunch of guys, and they were younger, and we went to New York. They chased us. Then I went back to look for them, and I didn't want the kids that were younger to get hurt. So I made sure they got home. Then I went back, and I went to see if I could fight these guys to fight, bro, because I wasn't gonna have that. You know, but they lucky I ain't find them. Look, you know,
Wow.
listen,
Okay.
people lost their lives through dancing, just for dance. You know, and I'm talking about just Brooklyn. I don't know about Bronx and Queens, everybody else, how they did their thing, but I know for sure that a
That's
lot.
one of a kind because the stuff like that never happened in Hartford, Connecticut, where I'm from, in the beat. That never took place. So the dancing,
Yeah.
like to the extreme where you want to kill somebody or murk somebody because they beat you, nah, that never took place in our
What
city.
are some of the things that no one knows? What are some of the things in the hip hop game that some secrets that you might hold?
What secrets?
Yeah, like things that have happened, you know, through your journey through hip hop.
Well, you know, I have to tell you when you're talking about gangs, you there's nothing you should be talking about unless you're talking about dance. If you want to talk about violence or anything, that I can't talk about because you know right now the gang world they're in a peace right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's not my job to go out and talk about any dirt, two gangs or this gang or that gang. No, I can't. That one I never. I'm a loyal guy. I'm loyal, respected.
big up the King class. Big up the King class. Mad respect the King class, man.
I know,
Mad
I
respect
know
the King
dirty.
class.
I know a lot of different gangs, Savage Skulls. I knew the Baby Kings. I knew all these gangs, and I would never talk anything negative that they did or whatever. Never. Not even the rebels.
No,
The rebels.
Respect. That's a good way to be. Yeah.
I'll live and die with it. But you know, what we're talking about is dance. So this is I'm keeping it with dance because that's what I'm about. I'm about dance and music. That you're talking about, that's got nothing to do with me. I really don't care about what happened secretly.
okay. Let's get back to the rock. Let me ask you about this because you know when I first got on YouTube, the crew that I saw on there that was making a lot of noise, and I give him a lot of respect. He went all over the world and everything, and did his thing and helped bring the culture back out. I always thought it was him. I never knew it was you. But the name of the crew, and I'm going to say it right now because I got a lot of respect for them. They brung it around all over the place, Brazil and all over, was Mastermind Rockers. But now I heard something else about Mastermind Rockers. I heard that you were a part of that at one time. Is that true?
Yes, I was the leader of the Bushwick chapters.
Mm.
So they had a section of Mastermind Rockers in Bushwick.
Yes, because of me. I was original from the Greenpoint, Cooper Park, Mastermind with Dash, Dr. Love, Viejo, you know, all these guys. And Viejo was the founder of the
You're
Mastermind.
talking originals, huh?
He's the founder, Viejo. He passed away a couple of years ago.
Oh
Well,
wow.
Mastermind, there was no Ringo. There was none of these new guys that you see now. There were none of them. Ringo was not a mastermind. No, he was not. And I'll say
What year was this? What year was this, more or less?
in the 80s, you know, in the 80s. Because
No,
remember,
no, because he was a Furious Rocker. He was a Furious Rocker. I remember that. That's all over the place now.
but he was never in Mastermind. He became Mastermind recently. That I don't know why, but he should have rep Furious or any other crew that he said he was with. Why would you represent a crew that he was never down with? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's okay. So I mean, it happened, whatever. But when I was in Mastermind, Ringo was not Mastermind. My name was Mr. Nice. And look, I'm gonna show you something. But I like to show people the proof. When I was in Mastermind, me and my partner, my partner Navidad, his name is Mr. Style. I was Mr. Nice because I didn't use
Yeah.
RC or King Uprock for breaking. I used that only for uprocking. When I got into
Okay.
breaking and popping, I called myself Mr. Nice. So me and my partner one day we decided we wanted to do routines in breaking because we were really part of Dynamic at first. I learned from Dynamic in the Storia chapter. I learned from
Okay.
then I got down with the Jamaica chapter with Glide, Spider, Airborne. I found out who they were later. I only knew the original with Kid Freeze, Wavy Legs, Eddie Ed, Ace, AC Ace, how you call it? Bebop, Nelly Nell, who passed away. So me and my we was like, yo, let's use a name when we do it. So we joined a contest at what do you call that? It was a club in Manhattan where they the Red Parrot. It was called the Red Parrot. And Carlos de Jesus from
92 KTU.
Yeah, but he had a show called Hot Tracks.
Okay, I heard of that.
We did a showcase, and it was one of the so we called ourselves the Stylistic Break.
The Stylistics, okay. I remember that group.
Check it out.
See, it says Stylistic.
Wow.
And my name is right here, Mr. Nice. Mr. Nice. That was my name.
Okay.
So we when we did routines, it was me and him, or we went on a tour, we used that list, So that was one of the things that we did. And then later on, Rich Rock and Pablo and Odyssey and Mighty Whitey and all these guys, they were part of Dynamic Juniors. Then they became the Body Mechanics. And then later on, Nelson Cruz who passed away. He had a group called Fast Forward. The manager of Incredible Breakers, and Chino O'Brien went to Israel on a tour. So Float was here with the rest of the guys. He put us together, and he called us Incredible Body Mechanics. That's when we were IBM.
IBM. I heard Incredible Bomb Masters. That's what I heard. That name rings a bell. IBM.
Have you teach many people to Uprock?
Well, yes, I taught many guys. I taught Rob Nasty. I taught most of the guys from California, Cole Chris, Numbers.
Rob Nasty from A Touch of Rock?
Huh?
The guy from Touch of Rock? What was he down with? Down to Rock?
Who's that?
Rob Nasty. I know who Rob Nasty from California.
No, Rob Nasty his crew is what's his name? Crew. He's new guy. He's a new generation. I forget.
90s.
Yeah, they're from mid 90s. Because not 2000. Because in 93, 94, there was no events going on like B-boy events. Nothing. And the only event that was going on was Zulu Nation would throw their events, but it wasn't about b-boys. It was more like an event. It was just like a hip hop event. You came
like a DJ event, right? Like a DJ, like DJing.
Stage, you see
rapping, DJing.
Saw some breaks, and I started teaching Breaks Crew and Supreme Beans and Ready to Rock and all these crews. They were young in '94. And I started coming out with $1. I came out with a jam, St. Barbara's. I didn't charge no money. And I had free practice. And that's when I strictly came the first guy to throw events for B-boys, breakers. And I did rocking. So then after that, I came out with $1 jams. And that's how these guys, all these young kids, before Rob Nasty knew guys, Dynamic, the new Supreme Bean, Breaks Crew. I used to do $1 jams, and I was the first one to throw, give out plaques to old school guys, or I would give out trophy and some money, and it was only for $1 they had to come in. $1.
Wow. What year was this?
93, 94.
Wow.
Now to show you how it looks like, I'm going to show you what I did. You see, I got some plaques here. I got a whole bunch of plaques that nobody haven't. A lot of these guys never to pick up, but I made this by hand. I made this plaque. I made it by hand, and then I got the plate, this is the plate. I got it made in a trophy place. Then I put it on here, and then I will have old school guys who were from back in the days come to my jam and give them a plaque and say, thank you for your contribution. Thank you for being part of this, culture.
Yeah.
You're a big person.
Respect.
Face,
nice.
Ken Swift plaque. They never picked it up. Their ego was too big. Fable picked up his plaque. I gave his wife a plaque. I gave other B-boys and Uprockers plaque. But you know, a lot. Listen, I got look how many plaques I got from many old school guys. I can show you right now. Look how many plaques that nobody came to pick
Name
up.
them. Name them. I would like to hear these names, bro.
I gave well Don Tony pick his up yet, right? Mark Spark, he was an old school DJ. Richie Rich was a b-boy. Tony T never picked up his. Stacy never picked up his. Big Steve never picked up his. Mike Clemente never picked up his. Ken Swift never picked up his. Crazy Legs never picked up his. There's many more I have. And the guy from B Street, you know, I made plaques for him. Never came and picked it up.
Those are like medals, bro. Those are something that you cherish. You put on the side in your room. You know what I mean? Like,
listen.
Wow.
Listen, I'm telling you right now. And then when I did Dollar Jam, I changed. You know, my head is always moving. I'm always thinking of a new move, another event. I don't like keeping the same event. I like changing the name. So I saw a boxing thing called Sugar Ray Leonard did this thing on Channel 4. It was called The Next Contender. The Next Contender.
Next Contender, yeah.
Right.
So
I remember.
I changed the name and called it B-Boy Contenders. And I wanted the best five guys from every crew to battle.
Wow.
And then what they did was, I'm gonna show you the rich because the winners. But I was the first one to do belts like this. This is how the belt used to look like.
Oh, amazing.
Wow.
Right? I did this for the hip hop, right? I did this, matter of fact, it's this backwards. I did this for the hip hop parade because I was part of the parade. And my son drew it, and he drew a B-boy and said B-boy contenders with it says champions, right? And I was the first one to make belts. Nobody even thought about belts. I was the first one to do.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Nice. And now you see Red Bull and all these people doing belts, but it was me that did it. It was me that did it first, bro.
It was your idea.
People were just biting my ideas. So like I said, I never kept the same. I always moved on to the next. Oh, you want to bite that? I'll make something new. You want to bite that? I'll make something new. That's why I'm telling you now. Just to show you, I'm going to show you something quick. When I was teaching at the Beacon, I used to be a Beacon program, right? There was a program where I was teaching these kids, like I said, Breaks Crew and all these kids. It's a article that came in a newspaper, and that's me doing footwork over here. If you can see it really close.
Yeah.
Me,
yeah,
right?
I can see it.
And that's me doing I did the article. They did an article on me where I was teaching kids for free. I had over 200 kids every Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 to 9. I was teaching breaking.
Amazing.
What year was this? What year does it say on that newspaper, on the article?
Was in
that looks like 80s.
No, this is not 80s. No, this was in the 90s.
Okay, that was in the
95, 96.
Okay. So that's when breaking came back out again?
Yeah, that's when it was coming back out. I was the first one to do b-boy events and to do free classes for free. I didn't charge no kids. Everything was for free.
Wow.
And then you know, I'm gonna show you something that my boy Cartoon was a guy I met in California, and he did ceramic very good. And I said, yo, man, won't you try to make a spray can and you can sell it? And he said, oh man, that sounds like a good idea. I told him, listen, I'm gonna show you how you open a business. You're gonna market this and you're gonna copyright everything so nobody can steal your
ideas.
But I told him, listen,
your patents, your copyright, trademarks, yeah.
Did this, a spray can. He gave me one.
Oh man, that's wicked.
You see?
That a Krylon can. Look at that on the thing.
Yeah.
Then he did this one.
That's nice.
He did this one where it's like a puma.
Oh,
I've seen those out here with Adidas on the keychain.
Then he did this one, right, with the 4 elements, with the DJ, the breaking, the graffiti, and the microphone. He gave me a
nice.
Then he made a hardcore one, sneaker one, where this one lights up. If I put the battery in, it lights up. Blink.
Oh wow.
That's original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it
I've
is.
never seen something like that.
Now, when everybody joined, when not joined, when everybody came to my class for the breaking for free, right? The b-boy class, the Greater Ridgewood was they were the company that had the school. They had the after school program. They were called the Greater Ridgewood. So I wanted to use their name to represent the kids. I said, listen, I don't care what crew you are, but we represent the center. So if there's another center that has a b-boy crew, we're going to represent the center. So I made shirts and I call it, see, right here, the Beacon
Yeah.
Breakers. We were called the Beacon Breakers because we were Beacon program.
Nice.
Did a picture of K1, my boy K1, that's really him doing footwork, you know, my boy K1 right here.
Wow. Nice. Nice.
So then I was one of the first guys to do shirts, and I came out with all color shirts and hats. I was the first one. I started doing the Uprock shirt.
Oh, I
Ah,
never knew. I never knew that was you who did that.
Yeah,
And I saw that everywhere. The two
a lot of
uprock on the hat.
me either. That's the first.
I
listen,
never knew that was you, man.
listen. I'm going to show you something right now. I have the first seat. I'm going to go a little ahead, but you see this right here? The first DVD I put out was this one. It's called Uprock's Revenge.
Okay,
Yeah.
I seen that.
Right?
I seen that in YouTube.
I have it
Yeah.
on a VHS, and I then when DVDs came out, I got it transferred to a DVD. And then
You market it, though, right? You have to market, right? You market it.
yeah, and then my second one was this one. It was the New York Finest.
I never seen that.
It has all like little Dave, and you know, in the back, if you look at this in the back, kind of, you know, it might be a little blurry, but it has pictures of me. That it has some pictures of Mr. Loose, all of us, all the dollar jams I did. I put the pictures here. I got all the footage. I got all the flyers. Yo,
Are you selling that online or what? No.
I sell them online.
Okay.
So
You want to give the link? Maybe put the link there and let everybody know.
just go to either kinguprock@yahoo.com or go to Facebook King Uprock and you tell me you want a DVD or CD or whatever. So now I'm gonna show you something.
Yeah, that's important. You have to say that.
This is something that over 40 something years, if you're looking at it, right? These are my cassette tapes.
I thought you was gonna pull some money out of it. That showed me thousands.
I got
Okay, that's still worth it. That's still worth it. Those are cassettes.
locking and popping. I got Uprock. I got R&B. I got so much. Listen, let me show you something. I'm gonna show you. I got 3 volumes of Uprock. Back in the days when I first started. Here's my son, who was my partner when we came back, and it says Uprock Volume 3.
Yeah.
What, these are cassettes of you DJ?
Yeah, me playing showing the original music of Uprock, and here's me on the cover.
Oh wow.
It's Volume 1.
Who taught you how to DJ? Who's your inspiration?
I told you, Big Bob was one of the guys, and then I learned from DJ Amp, and then then from there Flowers. I learned a little bit from Flowers and this guys, and then I just bought equipment and I became a monster. Dude, I was Sounds of Dynasty with College from Dynasty.
Did you ever teach any DJs or put any DJs on?
I put a lot of DJs. I mean, Evil D back in the days was a kid when I was DJing the park from Black Moon. And
Yeah.
I used to let nobody else get on their set. I used to let Evil D get on my set. Evil D went to school with my wife, doing the same class. I'm older than Evil D. Remember, I'm old school.
Yeah.
Sometimes you hear people say, "Oh, I was in the park." That's not true. Papa, you would have if Evil D would have DJ in the park, he would have got his equipment stolen. He didn't have to play the park. Now, if he played with me, they wasn't going to do anything. He still lives on Winfield and Irving, right next to St. Martin's Church, bro. I could take you to his house. I know where he lives. Tony Touch, I put Tony Touch on. They used to work at Music Hut selling records at the record store. Okay,
Wow.
put those guys down. And I did an article, like I told you, like I said before, I used to have my own publication on my own newspaper. It was called Metro DJ News, and here's a copy of it. His Snoop Doggy Dogg, we did a thing for Snoop Doggy Dogg when he had his new song. And then inside we have like certain DJs, and we did articles on everybody, R&B, on all the major clubs in New York City. I would go to major clubs and do write-ups on the clubs and write on every top DJ. I was doing this. Me and my man Chris Ross, we started this thing called Metro DJ News. We would.
Can you tell me anything about that skating arena, the Oasis?
The Oasis was another skate ring in Bushwick, and then it became a bingo. It became a bingo place. But Oasis was a place where we used to go skate, and then in the side, they played some Uprock, and we just Uprock. You see guys getting down, you know.
Were they there was a lot of battles there that took place?
Yeah, there was battles, and there was another one in Broadway and Myrtle, right? And I forget the name of it. It was I forget really the name offhand, but there was another big skating ring over there where they had dancers, and we would go there and dance. It was right next to there was a club there called Studio 54, not the one from, but there was another one.
Right.
And, Big Bob, I think Big Bob ran that one, and right across the street is now a supermarket, but that was a skating ring. And then we had a skating ring in Queens, where the Italian kids used to be at, and I used to go over there and Uprock and break, and I started teaching them. And then Buzz from Touch made Street Justice with some other guys, and they used to go there and teach some of the Italians. And then that's how I used to bring Dynamic, or I bring Incredible Body Mechanics. We used to go there, and we used to battle the Italian kids. But they wasn't that good, but you got to give them props.
Yeah.
Got down.
What were the clubs everybody used to get down back then, as far as uprocking was concerned? Well, what were the clubs?
You had the Salsa, you had the Sugar Shack, you had Paradise, you had Sweet 16, you had the Orange Peel, you had St. Barbara's, St. Martin's. There was a lot of clubs, bro. Bushwick.
I ain't never heard nobody say all these names, bro. I'm bugging out because I never heard. I've seen a lot of interviews on YouTube now, and I ain't never heard half of them names you mentioning, bro.
There was a lot. Oh, they had the
you got a lot of history.
Showboat on Atlantic Avenue in East New York. The Showboat. It looked when you was outside the Showboat, it looked like it was a real boat, like a ship. It was called the Showboat.
Showboat. Wow.
And this was my Metro DJ shirt. The DJ from the newspaper. We made shirts. I made shirts.
Wow, man, check all your history.
And then when you talk about graffiti, here we go. I got a graffiti shirt. It's a real shirt.
Let me see. Oh man, that is hot.
And then
that is let me show you hot. I gotta have that.
And then let me show you something like now we're gonna go a little bit off the topic of dancing, but nobody got this. My Bruce Lee record.
Oh, never seen that. I ain't even heard of that.
Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon. The
wow.
Oh.
See that?
Nice.
It's a real record. It's a real record.
Is that for sale?
No.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Now,
but that wants everything, boy.
I'm a collector of fine vinyl. Is that for sale?
Now, I know you guys. I don't know if you guys ever seen this magazine. I have a couple of them. I didn't bring them all up, but I have one from Spain and different countries. But there was a magazine that they put out here. It was called Element Magazine, right?
Yeah.
And they did a big article on me. That's when I used to break.
Wow.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then I have another one where this is gonna blow your mind. I have this one I did. This one was I forget what country this was, but they did a cover on Biz Markie, right?
Bismarck.
Who just passed away, Biz Markie. And look, dancing, uprocking.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
What year is that?
Then I did the Stress
I've never even seen that magazine.
It's got to have. It has to have the year somewhere.
And that looks like it's in mint
I know this was in
condition.
the 90s. I remember the 90s. No, it's I have a whole bunch. I have a whole bunch in the sleeve. I keep them in the sleeve. You know what I'm saying? They don't get damaged. Then I have Stress magazine. I was in that one. That was from New York. I did the one in Spain, and I did one in, and I think I did the one in Germany, and I did one in I think it was France or somewhere. I came out in all these magazines. Came out in all these magazines.
Wow.
But then never people wasn't hearing. You know what's the problem with hip hop? Nobody want to tell. Nobody want to share love. You know? If there was somebody before you, show them love. Because it
Give them the respect. Take the hat off, man. Not everybody's going to be the best forever, man.
You know what? Everybody don't want to talk. So when I talk and I get flowers, my boy, a plumber, all these DJs, all these uprockers, all these breakers, B-boys crews. You know, Incredible Breakers was the best B-boy crew in New York City. Look, hands down. Even though my man was the #1 B-boy.
You verify this?
Huh?
Are you verifying this?
That's right. And nobody could tell me different.
Better than Dynasty?
Brian was the best B-boys of all time.
You heard it first, see.
Better than Dynamic?
Better. The only one they couldn't beat, which they did battle, was Kid Freeze.
What about the Floor Masters?
Couldn't handle. But remember, you're talking about Floor Masters. Chino Bryan was Floor Masters in the beginning, but once they got really good and they left Floor Masters, remember you had a lot of guys from Floor Masters became New York City Breakers, and then a lot of Floor Masters like Fast Break became Magnificent Force.
Yeah.
And Ice and those guys, they all changed. They all turned into a different crew. It broke up. But the boy of all time, #1, crazy power, invented almost every power move that was out there back then, was Kid Freeze. And then Chino Bryan, phenomenal.
Wow.
Phenomenal. They were my idols. Those three were my idols. I'm talking about in breaking, loved them. I knew I couldn't take them. If I tried, I would get roasted. Uprocking, I take them out. But breaking, they were the best, and they don't even get the respect that they deserve. Listen, Dynamic was good. You know, Glide, when Glide took over Dynamic, because he's not the founder of Dynamic, but when he took over Dynamic, he took Dynamic to another level. He put him in That's Incredible. He did great routines. He was a good B-boy. And I'm not gonna say he wasn't. Yeah, he was dope, and he was another guy who was dope. But I thought Wavy Legs was better than him. Kid Freeze was better than him. You know, in Dynamic. But he hold his own.
Are you talking about the first generation? Or are you talking about when Spider was in it?
Spider came out, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. That's so much stuff you're saying, but I've never even heard of, bro. Be honest with you.
That Scrambling Feet. You had all these. They were mad good crews, bro. But listen, you see, I'm gonna tell you something. Before Furious Rockers, right? The Furious Rockers, they were in Break to Dawn. Yeah. And then Cheap Rock, who was part of Dynamic's first generation, went to Providence, became the Furious Rockers are really from Providence. Came to Coney, made a Coney Island chapter, and that's when Furious Rockers, some of the guys from Break to Dawn became Furious.
Okay. I got it now.
Chiba Rock, the guy who started it, but Furious Rockers really started in Providence, Long Island. Over there, it started up there. It didn't start in New York.
Yeah, they had a big hip hop history scenery over there, a huge one. And they were dope. They were dope and everything, man.
And you got to give Chiba Rock mad respect.
Wow.
When Furious Rockers first came out, remember Ringo was not part of the Furious Rockers yet. When I think 2 or 3 years later, Chiba Rock got locked up in jail, and when he came back out, Ringo came in the crew, but he wasn't the first beginning of Furious Rockers.
I didn't know that. Wow, I didn't know that.
And the Precious Kids.
What happened?
Now I'm going to tell you something about the first Break the Dawn, they changed their name later on in the late 90s. They became Freshest Kids.
So that was the crew, the Freshest Kids?
Yeah, they were the new name of Break the Dawn.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Yeah,
right now, when the Break the Dawn came one time, they came to Knickerbocker Park, and they came to battle Mastermind, because I was Mastermind in Bushwick. And I remember my boy Ed was like telling his nephew or somebody, who's the guys who try to battle you? And the kid looking at all of us, and he's like, none of these guys. And then I was like, yo, what's the problem? And he goes, oh, I heard you guys try to battle my nephew, and then you wanted to beat him up. I was like, beat him up. So I said, listen, I told the kid, listen, tell me which guy here wanted to beat you up, right? He goes, no, it wasn't you, none of you guys. I never seen none of you guys before. So I said, what crew you looking for? He goes, oh, Mastermind. I said, yeah, but we're Mastermind. But there's another Mastermind. It's in Cooper Park. It's in Williamsburg. And he goes, oh, yeah, I think that's where they're from. So he came to Knickerbocker Park. What he didn't know was the rebels surrounded the park because they saw them with their shirts, Break the Dawn. They thought it was a gang. And then I said, yo, you know, these guys are outside the park. They're going to kill you guys because they think you're a gang. He goes, yo, something for beef, nothing. So I went and I talked to Apache, and all these guys said, nah, they're my boy from Coney Island. They're practicing with us. The rebels left. And then after that, Break the Dawn went to my basement, and we practiced, and we became united. They accepted me like a brother. I saved their life.
Nice.
And I could get the guy to say the same exact thing that happened.
You got a lot of history, Rock. You need to do your own YouTube broadcast channel, bro. I can see you doing very, very well, bro. Because there's a lot of misinformation out there, bro. A lot, especially here in South America, bro. So much misinformed information about everything.
Now, for David, right? I'm just gonna show you something, Dave, because I know you didn't.
They come at me looking for answers. I tell them, no, man, I'm not the man, bro. I know them, but I'm not the man. You got to talk to people that were actually there, that era, that come from there and danced in that era, that are from there.
David,
I'm not going to tell somebody else's story.
David, I want to show you something. I know you never seen this before. I can tell you never seen this before. But this is the graffiti card, like in a baseball card.
Get back, bro. Oh, I gotta have that.
I got a whole
graffiti cards.
Yeah, graffiti cards.
Where you buy that at?
This is old school stuff. Now look, I got boxing.
I never went around nowhere.
Hang on, just let him talk.
I got boxing, all the famous boxers, old school boxers.
Wow.
Amateur card. I got Evander Holyfield. I got all the, you name it, Larry Holmes, Ali, Hector Camacho, right? I got all these boxing cards. Joe Louis.
Wow.
Right? Then you go back to the back, right? Over here, I got the promoters and everybody. And then over here is where you see the graffiti cards.
Oh my God.
And I got more downstairs.
What riders are on the cards?
Of graffiti.
What riders are on the cards? What graffiti riders are on the cards?
Dave.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nobody got this. The shirt, the thing, nobody got it.
I've never heard of it. I've never heard of that. Yeah.
And my boy, now my boy Cartoon, who did the spray can and everything.
Yes.
Did this for me. See this? The
wow. Amazing, bro. Amazing. I thought I saw it all.
Tell the truth. I tell it.
Yeah,
I can tell you the truth, and I prove it. If I had a chance to go in my basement and show you most of my stuff, you'll be here for 3 weeks, bro. Because I got so much to tell you, to show you. It's history. I got flyers, everything. It's amazing what I got. Records you never seen before.
Wow.
Yeah, that Bruce Lee record, I tell you what, it would go to a good home.
I have Mad Magazine. Listen,
Do you feel appreciated for your accomplishment?
Prove. You know, we have to. If this hip hop has to be like a real. Huh?
Do you feel appreciated?
What happened?
For your accomplishments? Do you feel appreciated by everybody for your accomplishments?
People from other countries, like
Wow.
Russia, China, Switzerland, Japan, maybe. But New York people, the New York hip hop people, there's some of us together. Fast Break, me, Kid Freeze. We all love each other, like Shockalock, and all of us, and some of the new guys, Tiny Love, and all. But there's a lot of haters, bro. This money. I know everybody wants to live off of money, but listen, I work for the city of New York. I'm a custodian. I went to medical school. I did plumbing. I did electrical work. You know what I'm saying? I don't depend on hip hop to make money. I mean, yeah, I do weddings, I do parties, I DJ. Yeah, I want to get paid, but
it's a hobby.
But it's not a career for me because there's
right.
no benefit. There's no benefits. If I got to go to a hospital, I got no benefits. I can't pay for that. But I work for the city. I work for the police department for 8 years. I got benefits. I went to school. I got my education. I did boxing. I did martial arts. I did gymnastics, baseball. I did a lot of different things. I got in the drug life. If I would have gotten in the drug life, who knows what would have happened? Dead or alive or jail. No. But I was always a positive role model for people. I treat people with respect. I want the respect.
Yeah, that's powerful, very powerful message.
Okay, let me bring this up. When I moved to New York, it was like 1985. We're going on 86.
Let him
speak.
Okay, go ahead, man.
The thing what it is today is a lot of these young guys, they favorite a b-boy. I don't know. I don't want to mention names, but let's say they mention some big name who's a big b-boy, and he is jealous of another b-boy from Brooklyn or Queens or even the Bronx. Those young guys, they get involved in the beef when it has nothing to do with them, because they don't understand if the guy did something wrong to him. If you did wrong to me, why should somebody else listen to you when you did wrong to me? Why should they hate on me if I'm showing them love? And that's the problem. There's too much, you get these guys with titles and, oh, I'm old school, and I'm this and I'm that. And don't talk to these guys. They know Brooklyn sucks or the Queen sucks. No, why you doing that? You're letting somebody lose history. You know why? Because you know that when the real history comes out, you were nobody. Yeah. I'll back anybody in the world, and especially and nobody ain't old school. I take them
respect.
I'm not one of those talk. I go on the dance floor and I'll put it on
you. Yeah.
That's the problem. There's a lot of guys who talk, oh, I was such good. I was good. Okay, let me see you do a little footwork. Oh, I don't do it no more. So what do you want? You want recognition for what? You do it good back then. You're not good now. Was it parties? I did the Chrissy Z when she did Tools of War. I did most of her Tools of War. I was one of the first guys who helped her with Tools of War. And a lot of the DJs were mad because I was playing dope music. How you
shouldn't even be about that like that, bro. For real.
My set, you rock your set, and we show love. That's all it's all
exactly. About. I mean, like, wow. Like, what's the beef, B?
Listen,
you're definitely an inspiring figure.
Hate. And you know what? I don't got time for hate. I don't got time for
There's no love in hate, man. You can't have hate. Hate kills the heart, and when your heart dies, you die. That's the secret of that.
I'll continue doing what I do. I'll tell my story. That's what I'm doing. My story. I'm not saying that everybody's story is wrong. I'm giving the story. You do the research, and I'm
Correct.
because the guy, when I came out, there was nobody breaking. Everybody was working somewhere. Crazy Lady was, I think, it was a fitness teacher or gym, working in the gym. I think Fable worked in a bicycle store or something. He was working somewhere. Frosty was a delivery guy, you know, delivering. It was like a messenger delivering packages and stuff. Everybody was doing different things. You know, I was working. I was doing working dialysis. I went to medical school for it. But when I brought the breaking back in the 90s, nobody was doing what I was doing. Then how you call it? London from New York City Breakers did Battle of the Borough and Back to Mecca, and he asked me to help him out, and we teamed up, and I helped him. I helped Lucky Strike from Zulu Nation. I helped him with some of his events.
Rest in peace. Yeah.
I was judging. I judged the Zulu Nation at the Empire Skating Ring when they used that for one of their anniversaries. I was organizing the b-boy competition there. It's on the fly.
What are some of the famous people that you've met? What are some of the famous people that you've met?
Famous
people that you've met.
Celebs.
I met a lot of celebrities. I met Michael Jackson back in the days. I went on a tour, B Street. I was supposed to be in B Street, but I was under SAG. They didn't take Harry Belafonte. They didn't use me, and he didn't use Dynamic Rockers. Dynamic Rockers and Credible Breakers were supposed to be in B Street, not Rocksteady City Breakers. They never joined the KTU contest. Dynamic won it. It's on. I can send you the link. Dynamic won the contest.
Wow.
We'll definitely put the link up for that. Yeah, for sure.
But you know what? At the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. But you know, I did certain things and little movie shows with Spider, and you know, I did my own thing. I traveled to Puerto Rico. I did my own shows, and then Ty Mark from The Last Dragon, his mother, Miss Washington, was the manager for Dynamic Breakers. Loretta Washington.
Wow.
See, back then, you know, a lot of b-boys was trying to do big shows and go to different countries, and the same way Rocksteady was doing it, Dynamic was doing it, Credible was doing it. And then you had some other guys who were doing it. They did their little local thing in London or whatever, because it was a new thing. Everybody wanted to see it. And when we had the Fresh Fest Festival, Dynamic was part of that. The Fresh Fest. I couldn't go with them because my mom was very sick, and I had to take care of my mom.
Yeah, that was in Florida. I went to that. I was in that because my ex is Lacey Lace, who was down with Gigolo Tony. She gave me his daughter. You know what I'm saying? So she was doing the parents of Roxanne. Yeah. You know what I mean? With Gigolo Tony, with Run DMC, yeah. Houdini, you know what I mean? Fat Boys, all of them. Yeah. Lockout State. Yeah. I was there. I saw that. Can you name me some of the? Because I see a lot of people do like your style, the way you rock. Dancers can tell when they see a dancer where they're getting their moves from. I know a lot of cats caught their moves. I know a lot of cats learned from YouTube. I know they did. A dancer can tell a dancer. Yeah, so can you tell me more or less what? Did you teach any teachers?
Well, Rob Nasty teaches. I taught him. I taught the other guy from over there from Canada. He's in Spain now. I forgot his name. And Break Easy. I taught a lot of guys. I taught so many people. Sometimes you forget. I taught the guys from Russia, FT. I taught Numbers. I taught, like I said, Foots and Dominic. I taught.
No, because as far as the teachers that I followed, it was you, King Uprock. It was Ringo from Mastermind Rockers. It was Rob Nasty. Mm-hmm. It was the other cat, the Bandit.
I taught Bandit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? There was only a handful
I never taught Ringo. That's the only person that you mentioned. I never taught. Ringo does his own thing. That's Ringo. I never.
Okay, so when you were out in this phase,
I battled Ringo.
Where did Papa 774 come from?
Hang on, he's telling that he battled Ringo.
I battled Ringo in the 80s and at the Oasis. I burned him.
At the skating rink?
Huh?
At the skating rink?
Yes, I beat him. There was a contest that Buzz threw from Street Judge, from Touch a Rock, through a rock contest. And me and Ringo was at the end. And I was dancing. And he caught me with a good burn. And everybody's like, oh. And I said, oh, okay. So what I did was I was burning him. I went to my left, went to my right. When he thought I was going to my right, back to my right, I double jerked lefty, and he twisted his knee and dislocated his whole knee, and he couldn't finish the contest.
Wow.
That's true facts right there. And then his boy Spin tried to get in. I burned him too.
Spin, he's nice. Spin, I think Spin.
So what I did was I won the trophy. The tree was like $300 in a trophy. And I said, yo, I don't want the trophy. I got too many trophies. I gave them the trophy. But they didn't win nothing. It was a first place trophy, but I won. I took first place. I beat Little Dave 80 when I got shot. I got 844 stitches on my neck. Right? I came out of the hospital, went to the contest, Sunshine. It was on Bushwick over there near No. There was a rock contest. Who was the number one? Everybody was, a lot of the Uprockers, the best Uprockers from Bushwick was there. I burned them all. Me and Little Dave was in the final. I beat Little Dave.
What year was this, more or less?
1980. I think it was March 3rd. 2 days, the week after my birthday. Because I got shot on February 23rd. My birthday is February 25th. And the next Saturday was the contest. I left the hospital. I won the contest.
My daughter's 24th.
How did you get shot? What a
Playing Russian roulette.
Crazy.
Wow.
So,
wow. That didn't stop you, huh? Getting shot didn't stop you.
I went back, still went boxing. I still was fighting for the gloves and everything. I still kept going like a trooper, dude.
Did you have many fights?
Let me ask you a question. Did you
have many fights?
Yeah, I had was it 26 fights and knockout. There was one guy they didn't want to knock out. He was a friend of mine in the gloves. He wanted to knock him out, so I won decision.
They won on points, yeah.
I didn't want to. I just beat him. You know, he wouldn't touch me. I beat him easy, but I could have knocked him out. But he was my boy. He was a real good friend of mine. Matter of fact, I was even teaching him, and we wind up in the semifinals.
Who's your favorite boxer?
Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard.
Cassius Clay. You remember the freestyle area? Yeah. Why you wanna go? Why you wanna go? And all those damn February came, Noel and all that. Were you ever part of any of that, bro?
I was part of that from the beginning.
That's when I moved to New York. When that was in style, there was no beat, there was no breakdancing nowhere. When I lived there.
Listen, when freestyle was first coming out, Eddie Rivera, rest in peace, was the guy who was putting all these freestyle people together. Now, TKA there were 5 people in TKA, right?
5? I thought it was 3.
No. There was a 3, but there were 5. At the beginning, the first TKA, you had India and my boy Spider. There was a guy named Spider. He rest in peace. He died like a year ago.
India was down with that? India was with them?
Yeah, she was with them. And then she went solo. Spider left. And then the 3 of them, KL, AB, and the other one, and they were 3 TKA.
Wow.
And I knew the guy from Trilogy, CNR, which I grew up with him since me and his sister was in 2nd grade together, Ray on. And he was like, back then, brother to me, not like a brother to me, backstab. But anyway, I used to That Trilogy first came.
Mm.
They sing Latin Lover.
Latin Lover, yeah, Latin Love.
And
You make me.
I had my own freestyle group. We were 4 of us. I named the group 2 times 2 means there's 4. And we had a song called I open up for Judy Torres. I open up for Cynthia. I open up for a lot of people. And we had no record deal, and we had one of the hottest songs coming out. And we sang in Spanish and English, freestyle.
Wow.
Spanish and English.
Amazing, bro.
And I was the rapper.
Incredible.
Huh?
I was the rapper. I wasn't the lead singer. I was the rapper.
Damn.
So you've done all 4 elements.
Yeah, I wrote graffiti. I wrote Press. My graffiti name was Press or RC1, you know. But I never did like I only did tags. I never did like pieces because I couldn't draw.
You was a writer. You just stuck your name wherever you felt like it when you
Done
had to
throw-ups, 2 throw-ups.
Yeah, I did. I can't draw, so I didn't know how to draw characters. So I just write Presto, and then my friend tried to teach me how to do like a hand, like a magic hand, which I have it.
Yeah, the hand that comes out.
Presto,
Yeah, that everybody used to do.
Presto, bingo, magic, Presto. That was my writing name, Presto. Or I would write Kaz or RC1.
Wow.
But I was
What
there
would you say?
when I was there in the beginning with Judy Torres and all these people, George Lamar, Mark Anthony when he did freestyle. I was there with a lot of crew. I remember the record pool. What they did was they would invite record companies to come and do music era of freestyle, and they would sign people to their record company. I remember when Fushnikins first came out, I brought Fushnikins to the record pool. The floor almost collapsed. That's how many people.
Wow.
My boy was managing Fushnikins, and I said, "Yo, I'll get them on the Monday Night Feedback." Everybody knew the record company, record pools back in the day. We used to you would get a record, like let's say TKA had a new record. The DJs in the pool would get the record first, play it in the clubs, so that people like, "Oh man, what's that song? Oh, that's TKA's new record. It won't even be out yet, but you'll be the first one to play it." And then you was told the record company, yeah, it was a good review, whatever. And that's how Record Pool started. And I was part of the Record Pool with Eddie Rivera and Chris Roy.
Wow. And can you actually say was anybody breaking anywhere?
Huh?
Do you think that when freestyle music came out, somebody was breaking somewhere, or that was unheard of?
Breaking,
yeah, breakdancing.
No, but breaking was before that. Breaking was before.
Yeah, but I'm saying there was a time span that it died, right? That it died out.
But people used to dance freestyle, or people were still lofting or doing the webo and stuff like that, But freestyle has that's like a little different dance than breaking. You wouldn't be. But some people break to anything, sometimes you go to an event, you see guys breaking to reggae, it's not we dancing, we breaking to reggae for, kids just want to dance, they dance to anything. Real people to the art of the songs or the music, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't uprock to heavy metal, I uprock to rock songs, you know what I'm saying? Funk and soul. I'm not gonna uprock to salsa. You're not gonna see me.
No.
When did you first call yourself King Uprock?
In 1980, when I beat Little Dave. Because Little Dave was one of the nastiest first generation dancers. And they told me, yo, and when I beat Little Dave, I said, okay, I already beat everybody. I am the new king. So my new name is now no more RC, King Uprock.
Respect.
Dave, huh?
When you beat the best, you could call yourself a king.
Yeah. Facto.
Yeah, no, you are a legend. You're a king, a worldwide king.
Yep.
People I never danced before, or people from other boroughs say they uprock and they want to shot at the title, then I let them come. Beat them. Oh, you're the king. You gotta give me my respects.
Who right now do you think? Can you name me the 5 best uprockers to you that you've seen grow, get better and better and better as the years, progress? Can you see? Can you tell me who like are your 5 top?
Tiny Love is one of them, but FT, Grinch, Dynamo, Duck, those guys from Russia, outstanding. They're another level, man.
Yeah, I seen them Russians are fast and they rock to the beat. They rock to the rhythm. That's what I like about them. They know when to. They know when to strike. They don't just get up there, do a dance, and start striking all crazy like.
When I taught them monsters, bro. They're great, bro. They're great.
Who?
When I taught them, they became monsters. They're great. They're gonna take over when I leave, they're gonna take over. They're one of my best students. And like I said, Tiny Love is up there with them, out of New York. Tiny Love is one of my best. He's better than Rob Nasty and the rest of those guys, But he don't.
What about Worry? Worry.
Worry was up there, but then Worry changed, and I don't know. He got into too many people giving him forced stuff, and he never stuck with me with my style. But the Russians and Tiny, they could take him out. He's nobody.
Is there anything you want to let off your chest?
Really nothing. I'm not a guy who's negativity with no one. I just, like I said, if you disrespect me, you're gonna get disrespected back. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta be scared of me. But I respect people because I want respect. I'm a Christian now. I'm different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But because I'm a Christian, now don't hands up. Your hands up on you better be a great fighter.
Yes.
Fighter. I'm still a knockout artist.
Yeah.
Like I could tell you this for a fact. I've seen every video of every uprocking video that I've seen on YouTube. And I'll tell you what, to me, like the best video that I saw the way they did it and they went into different scenes, they were just raw. I gotta give it up to Moon Cricket, bro. That video that he did, I think it was San Diego, California, or San Francisco. That they did it on the rooftop, they did it in the park, and they did it over there and over there. With B-Boy Wary was in there too, I think. That video.
The B-Boy connection that he's doing, he was doing more of a West Coast popping and locking. When he came to New York, he came to me. I got him to meet the Uprockers and all the B-Boys, like Chino and Brian, Kid Freeze, everybody. I'm in charge of the New York of that documentary. I'm in charge of the New York version. He does the West Coast.
Okay.
I'm in charge of that with him. That's how that video's like that, because I have a copy of it and I'm part of that New York. If it wasn't for me, he would have never gotten nobody from New York.
Wow. That to me is the best video ever done, bro. That video I can watch it 1,000,000 times.
It's off the hook if he puts it out. It's a great documentary, really educated documentary.
I think that you should do an interview on Netflix, bro. You should try to, you know what I mean?
I told him already. I talked to him. He was in New York, I think, last week. I tried to talk to him and like, yo, we need to do this Netflix thing. And I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with him. He has he wants to do something with this. Is really his project. I really don't want to take away his project. I'll just do my own project.
Mm.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of questions being asked in South America about this, that, and the fifth. Everybody is confused, bro. Everybody.
It's the people who go there who don't share the love. It's their fault. If you got such groups, Rocksteady, I don't know, whoever, going over there telling them that they're this and not telling them, well, Dynamic, Incredible, we got Floor Masters, we got Dynasty, we got, and not sharing the real true history, that's their fault. If I go to a country and don't talk about everybody, I'm a liar. It's all about
it's ego tripping. You ego tripping, man. You ego tripping.
I don't do that. I give love to everybody. I told you, Credible Breakers, Get Free, Dynamic, all of them, dopest crews.
Respect for respecting so many.
Yeah. Definitely, bro.
You know, you go to different countries and you see if I go to Australia and I meet the first B-boys over there, I tell them you are a legend just like me because you paid the dues. You were one of the first guys dancing. You have the same title like me. I'm not better than you. You're better than me. We're the same. Even though I started before you guys, you're still first generation in your country. I have to respect you as the first generation.
Yeah.
Facto. If you could change anything,
God bless you.
if you could change anything in uprocking, in the rocking, what would you change and why? In the dance, uprock, or let's call it rock dance form.
I really would change the dirty gestures. That's one thing I'm trying to change.
And you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. That's the reason why I gave up on that. I gave up on that dance many years ago, bro.
Now, if you're talking about grabbing a guy, stabbing in his head, or taking a guy.
No, not that. No, not that. Not that at all. Because I'll tell you, I tried it when I came here to Peru in 2010, the end of 2010. I don't really count because it was the last month. When I was here, like 2011 going on 2012, I tried to teach the youth here. And they know over there in Lambayeque, I tried to teach kids how to do it. But, you know, I was teaching them the outlaw part. You know, you do the gestures with your jocks. And this lady was going to announce me to City Hall, bro, get me in trouble with the police. So I stopped, bro. I just didn't do it.
You know what's the problem also is that, I mean, when you grew up as a child watching the Outlaws, dirty gestures was a normal. It was like normal.
Clowning.
It was a clown. You're trying to say to the other guy, "You're my girlfriend," or "You're a girl."
Yeah, it's clowning.
But now, with all this child molesting stuff coming out of the woodwork, out of everybody,
you cannot do a gesture like that, bro.
Listen,
here in Peru, you can't do that, bro. You can't grab that.
Hold up. You cannot tell a kid, put your penis in his mouth, you know, and it doesn't look right because
no, bro.
Especially as a Christian, I cannot tell that no more. I can't do that no more. I can't be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Either I can still uprock, but I just can't do dirty gestures. Now, if guys want to do that, you know, it's gonna be something new for me to try to break that. But a lot of people not respecting that. No parents wants to see their kids doing dirty gestures, especially
man.
Other kids.
No, not at all.
Now, if a man, let's say a guy who's older, does a dirty gesture to a little kid, what that makes him look like? A pedophile.
A petty. Yeah.
So dance is dance, you know. But you know, like I said, there's a lot of things you have to change in life when you see where things are going. Now it's really bad because a lot of old school guys, I don't know, but don't come out in the wash, does come out, and they are coming out as child molesters. I ain't one of those guys because that's not my style. I hate that. But I would never do that. That's not the way I don't do that to kids or boys or girls, nothing like that. And I feel that maybe if I take that out and just keep it dance, it will be more respectful. Parents will get involved more. You know,
can you name me any of the things that you did for your community?
I did a thing a week ago for the police department. We had it's called Nights Out Community, right? And there were young girls doing, like, you know, from dance schools dancing, and I had some of the kids b-boying, you know, doing a show. And some of these little girls do is twerking and shaking their behind. I didn't like it because that's not dance. Being sexual is not. And then if you do something like that, and people look at you and let's say a guy looks wrong and say, "Oh man, look at that little girl," whatever. Then they say, "Hey, what are you looking at that little girl like that?" But why are you letting the little girl dress up those tights, dancing, shaking their behind? I think that's disrespectful. I think that they need to take that out because you're showing some strippers.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
to shake them behind. You don't have to shake your behind. Well, how about bringing the hustle back, or bringing certain dance back that's clean, that looks professional. Like when you go to a professional dance, you know, these places that they do tango and all that. Show that. Why does a girl have to? especially little girls showing them behind, shaking their behind. I don't like that, bro. I hate that, bro.
Yeah, it's getting like that here too. They're doing that twerk, you know.
I don't like that. That's not a dance. To me, it's not a. We never danced like that. We did the freak, you know, back in the day, the Patty Duke, you know, and all the other,
The spank, the Flintstone. Yeah, bro.
bump, maybe the bump, you know, bump.
Yeah, the bump, the drop, the breeze.
You know, and then the music today, to me, it's not danceable, man. If that's the way you're gonna dance, I don't want to know nothing about new school music.
What kind of music do you spin?
Old school, no more than 2000, maybe the most. I mean, I'll play dance music or salsa from today, but I won't play hip hop of today. I won't play Lil Wayne or I don't know. They got this dance. I don't remember what it's called. My daughter laughs at me because I was oh, can you play the now something's called like something like that, and I'm like, what is that? And my daughter will be telling me, oh, this is this song, and I'll look for it on the internet. I'll play it, then I'll look at it. I don't like it. You know.
Do you get into reggaeton or you don't? You don't rock with it?
I really don't get into reggaeton that much. I like reggae. I'm a reggae dude.
Okay, reggae, yeah.
Original reggaeton is cool because it's reggae, but in Spanish, which is okay. I understand Spanish. I don't read and write Spanish, but I'm just, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do original. And I like reggae. I grew up with reggae all my life. With Jamaicans, you know.
Yep, me too.
Yeah,
me too.
That's cool.
I'm not saying that reggaeton is wrong. Don't get me wrong. I kind of respect it, but it's not something. I have reggaeton in my laptop? Yeah, I have some stuff, but I don't really play. I wouldn't play it. You know, if I had to, somebody asked me for a song, I'll search it, find it, and play it. But it's not something that I want to play. I will play more disco, funk, R&B, love house, stuff like that. 50s, doing the twist, chubby checker and stuff. I like all that. I'm old school.
Yeah.
I stick to what I do good. I'm not a new school DJ. I can't do new school parties because I don't play those songs. I don't even know what's out there.
Trap.
Let's give it to the last song, the last question. Yeah. Just give us what anything you want.
The what?
Anything you want.
Anything you want to bring out right now. Anything you want to talk about right now. Just go ahead and say it. You're on the air. I know you're coming out with your own channel pretty soon anyway, too. Your own podcast. So you can advertise that too.
Yeah, I know. Basically, I'm just trying to see where. I don't know. I just hope that this hip hop, because we're losing a lot of pioneers, and we could still be respected for those who are being positive and strong. And hopefully that the hate stops, man. It's too much hating, bro. Sometimes I don't even want to do it no more because of hating. And I shouldn't let that bother me, but it does bother me because it's something that I live all my life. 47 years. Half of the people in hip hop not even 47. You know what I'm saying? I did 47 years of dancing and DJing. But at the end of the day, there's always where's my new thing gonna come out? Maybe being a minister, or maybe I have to do things in life because you only live so long, and it's just great to talk to guys like yourself and other people from other country that wants the knowledge, because if you hold the knowledge will die. You know what I'm saying? That's
right. Yeah.
I share the knowledge because knowledge should be told.
Don't hide it, divide it. You know what I'm saying?
And don't know, not really too much to say. Whatever. I hope there could be peace within each other, with people. But there's some guys now who just come back who says they're old school, want to disrespect me online or disrespect my family. I'm not having that. I want to be part of those people.
How do you see the dance now? Do you like what's out right now? Do you like the styles that are coming out now with the rock or?
Really, I don't. I mean, I respect who who certain people look up to. If you look up to, let's say, Papa Love, and that's the style, and you like it, and that's what you want to learn, then you learn that. If you want to learn from this guy and that's his style, you want to do it, and it's good that way, because it's like martial arts. You have Kempo, you got Keto, you got Kung Fu, you got Jiu-Jitsu, you got all these different
forms, different
styles.
styles.
All these dance styles come to the floor and they battle, and they see who's the number one. Bushwick is always going to win. Bushwick style is the best. I'm sorry.
Word.
Anyway, I salute you. Thank you for coming on the show.
No doubt, no question. This ain't the first or the last, though. You know what I mean?
Oh,
BBLUV in the house, Black Boys. You know how we give it. You know, big up the Dynasty Rockers, the Game of Death. No question. Everybody out there in the USA, everybody keep rocking it, But remember, don't let it stay with you. If you love it so much, seek one, find one, teach one. Spread the love.
Yeah.
The knowledge. Peace out. Peace.
Peace.